Now the Stainless Works long tube headers that we have in this video are going to be for the 11 to 14 truck owners out there who crave more power and more sound out of their 5-liter power plant and want to go with a high quality option from Stainless Works. Now these are going to be an off-road header, meaning you are going to be deleting the cats entirely from the truck, making for even bigger power and sound gains compared to a catted version. Your price point will be right around $1,400 for the Stainless Works options, and it will get a knuckle busting 3 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter from me when it comes time to talk about the installation. But first things first, let's talk about a couple of important points here with these particular long tube headers from Stainless Works. The first of which is the fact that this is an off-road header, again, meaning you will be deleting the catalytic converters from the truck entirely. Now, why would you want to do this? Well, the short and easy answer is that will ultimately help deliver the biggest power and sound gains by eliminating a big restriction in the exhaust system. Of course, guys, you'll always want to check with your local laws before going catless. Now, in addition to that off-road feature, these particular long tubes feature what Stainless Works calls their Factory Connect Y-pipe. And of course, I'm talking about this guy right here. Now this just simply means that these long tubes will work with your factory exhaust system or any other aftermarket exhaust system that does incorporate that factory style flange or connection. Now food for thought here, guys, Stainless Works does offer this exact same package, but with what they call their Performance Connect version, meaning you're gonna be getting rid of this guy right here and incorporating a full 3-inch X pipe in its place. But you have to keep in mind these Performance Connect versions of the long tubes or the mid pipes can only be used with a Performance Connect version of the Stainless Works catback exhaust system. So again, just something to keep in mind there. But what do you say we focus in on the quality of build here? Because guys, in my opinion, it's always one of the big highlights when breaking down a Stainless Works product. Now, first and foremost, they're going to use a material known as Everlast 304 grade stainless steel on their headers, which in my opinion is definitely a premium metal. Now, these headers do also feature a 1 7/8 inch primary or runner here, and we will talk a little bit more about that in a minute. You're also looking at a 3/8 inch laser cut flange at the head, and then finally, guys, a 3-inch merge style collector down here on this end. And if you were to look inside of here, you'll find their merge spike technology, which they claim just helps increase exhaust velocity and scavenging. Now, along with the primary size, the flange, the merge, you're just looking at perfect welds throughout, guys. All handmade TIG welded stuff here, in addition to being made in the USA and of course backed by their lifetime warranty. And if I could just hit home one more time that you're gonna be handling a very well-made header here, guys. It's evident with every header I've ever handled here in the shop, and more importantly, the ones that I currently have installed on my 5-liter Mustang GT. But what do you say we rewind back to this 1 7/8 inch primary size with this particular long tube? And I think you'll find that this is going to be your most common diameter when shopping for aftermarket long tubes, and for good reason. Now sure, it's going to be fine with your mild bolt-ons, your naturally aspirated setups. It won't be ideal, but it will certainly still work. But more importantly, guys, this thing is really going to shine with those forced induction setups, such as your Whipple superchargers, TVS blowers, things like that. Now, if I were to go back to the NA setups real quick, I would probably steer you more towards a 1 3/4 inch primary, which Stainless Works does also offer here on the site. Again, only if you plan on staying NA would I recommend those. But ultimately, what does this all mean when it comes time to talk about your gains? Well, again, naturally aspirated trucks with a decent tune can see anywhere from 20 to 30 wheel when doing a setup like this. Now, on those forced induction trucks that we just talked about, the supercharged applications, your gains will be just as good, maybe even a little bit better. And along with the power expectations, you guys can expect an absolutely radical change to your exhaust note, especially when you're deleting the cats like you are with these headers. This is something to keep in mind though, guys. If your exhaust is already a tad on the aggressive side, it's only going to get crazier here with these particular long tubes in place. So again, just something to consider when adding these to your setup. Now, as for the installation, well guys, this one's not gonna be fun, right? Long tube headers are usually a pain in the you-know-what, and these will be no different. So figure a full 3 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter, at least a day, maybe more in the garage or driveway, along with a solid set of tools to help you knock this one out. Now, I will say that doing this install on an F-150 is gonna be a heck of a lot easier than a Mustang per se, because you have a little bit more room to maneuver in addition to hitting some bolts through those front wheel wells, but you still have to mess with the engine mounts in order to get the new headers up and in. So we don't say this often, guys, but if this is something you're not exactly comfortable with doing, you might want to leave this one up to your local shop. But wrapping this one up, guys, if you're looking to really crank up the power and sound on your 5-liter F-150, you'll want to check out the Stainless Works long tubes right here at AmericanTrucks.com.